Welcome to the Dr.Z NFT podcast with your host, Waxwars, and award-winning artist, Matt Gaser. It's been a fun week here in the NFT world, and especially in the Dr. Zammsy universe. We had a really good fun sale on Tuesday, November 9th, with our friends from HODLGOD. Sold out the entire series in about 2 minutes, which was really cool. Since it's nice to sell out and know that everybody cares, I guess. Matt, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think the fact that we now have utility in our NFTs, something we've been striving for all this year, finally came to fruition right at the same time as the pack launch. So a lot of HODLGOD's fans and our fans jumped in, and it was amazing. In 2 minutes, we just saw everything sell out, which, there was a 2-hour window, and for it to sell out in 2 minutes is very, very unique and very exciting. I think to caveat on that, we're going to release another card pack drop with HODLGOD, I believe this week sometime, correct?
Well, actually today, which has already happened just a little while ago, is an interface was dropped where you can actually blend your lesser cards into some of the cards you don't have that are more rare. So this next set of HODLGOD reward pack, it's going to be a mini pack with some very rare stuff inside. It'll require you to sort of burn an entire set of the cards. So this new interface that came out today will let you, collect some of these common cards and then put them into a blending mechanism to burn them. And what will come out is the rare card. So all the way up to the rarest card.
Yeah, it's amazing. We're just having so much success and fun collaborating with Onesis and HODLGOD, and they're like family now. We're all in this together, and it's really cool to learn that Dante just appreciates us so much and wants to grow both of our businesses at the same time together. So these pack drops were a step in the right direction. I can't wait to see what we do next.
Yeah, it's good times. And then we also had our drop on Friday, where on each Friday we do a drop of a new card. And right now we're doing the battle cards that will be in the battle card game. And so we had one was called the Yoshi Blue and one the Ibuprofen. So these are two different types of serums that Dr. Zammsy uses in his outpatient practice when he's going out into the field. He makes a diagnosis if somebody's having a problem, and then if one of his injectables will do the trick, then you can play this card, and that'll solve the problem.
Yeah, and it was fun because the card drops from last Friday were actually originally going to be part of the set 3 launch that we were going to do, but because we decided to shift gears and organize our efforts towards a card game, it's pushed our set 3 back a little bit. So the actual creature that he's trying to inject the serums into, his name's Mr. Fodl, and I don't see the problem in actually discussing production and possibilities with you on the fly. Instead of that card that I was working on last week for this week's drop, it's not quite finished yet, and I was wondering if maybe we should do actually Mr. Fodl as a hero card for this Friday. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at. So basically, right now we've been releasing cards that are going to be used in the game. So we have a few concepts of what those would be, so we can see if Mr. Fodl fits into
that,
those minions that we're trying to fill out that will help Dr. Zammsy along the way.
Yeah,
in his quest to cure the virus.
We did like a spreadsheet of like little tiny thumbnails of like all the different cards we had that we wanted in our collection and how they integrate and fight with the virus cards. And And then we did a lot of little tiny rough sketches of all the cards that I still need to paint out. Um, and so, yeah, sometimes when we think of ideas for cards, we just have to look at our roadmap plan for that and see if that fits in that model. So, yeah, good idea, buddy. Yeah,
And then
because what I
this
was trying
week,
to say, though, is like the set three was going to be all about Dr. Zammsy trying to save Mr. Fottle from these headaches he gets, and the long term plan for the set three was to also launch this sequence that happens where Mr. Fottle gets the wrong dosage, and his body starts reacting to that in a bad way, and he actually ends up blowing up into a balloon and then starts rolling around and breaking trees, and Dr. Zammsy has to chase him down and shoot this antidote dart into him to like reduce the inflammation so he can shrink back down to the right size. But I don't know. Maybe we'll have to figure out how we want to do that down the road and how that integrates into the game. But yeah, it was fun to use those cards for last week's drop.
yeah, I can't wait to share with you all the other paintings that Matt's been doing that are coming for the game, and it's just been a really cool week with all the people that have joined our Discord too. Our Discord's kind of doubled in the amount of people, so it's really cool to see the community grow as the word gets out how cool the Dr. Zammsy paintings are. And now that we're on Whenstaking, you can stake your NFTs and even sell the lease. So when you stake your NFTs on Whenstaking, you get an exact copy of that comes back to you as a lease, which has all the same properties as the original, but it only is around for a certain amount of time that you specify, between 1 and 365 days. So you can actually sell that to anybody and they can use it in the game as a card, or people can even the only way to stake Void is on those lease NFTs. So that's what some people are doing is once you stake it and you get your lease NFT, you can sell those on Atomic Hub to anybody who has Void, and they can take advantage of the Void rewards, and then you can get wax for selling your lease to those people. So it's just a continuing education. This is a brand new system, a brand new idea. So we're going to be continuing to try to. The best way to figure this out is actually to just try it out yourself with one of your Dr. Zammsy NFTs. Stake it, try to get some Void. We have the tutorials on there that kind of will explain where you can get Void on the Alcor exchange, and then Void will eventually be on some major exchanges. So right now is an important time to collect your Void while it's still relatively cheap to buy, because once all these games are fully functional and Void's being used in the game, the Void is going to be much harder to get, or more expensive to get, is what I mean. So
it's like any other crypto investment, right? You want to get in when it's low, and then when it jumps up, you're doing great. And what better way to do that than to buy our NFTs or use the collection you already have, stake with Whenstaking, and collect more Void. I mean, speaking of crypto, Wax this week, especially this weekend, exploded. Man, went to an all-time high of what, like 86.
yeah, it definitely there was a pump this weekend, and from all the people I've talked to, it's just this explosion of wax-based play-to-earn games. I mean, these a bunch of these games where wax was created specifically for games. So I think that we're kind of ahead of the curve here on wax because there's all these games already that are on the wax. Whereas Ethereum, I think that they're still trying to figure out that system, but there are Ethereum games as well. But Wax is just designed with no gas fees. I mean, it's just amazing how you can transfer things to people and there's no fee at all.
Yeah.
So
I think we got really lucky getting in with Wax really early this year and building our brand and our projects on that platform while it's was really relatively under the radar. Everyone has all been pumping Ethereum, and even my mom, our PR gal, she's been reaching out to people, and sometimes they respond and go, "Oh, well, if you're not on Ethereum, I don't want to talk to you." And I think that perception is probably changing, and the reflection of that is obviously in the bump in what wax is worth. So, I mean, who knows where it could go? I mean, I remember earlier this year, after our first launch, it went down to 8 cents and went back up to 21, and then it made an all-time high of 53 or something, and now we're at an all-time high of 86. So I mean, who knows where this could go in the next year? $5, $10. I mean, so now is an amazing time. It's just incredible time to get into wax, start investing, and collecting our content for sure.
And yeah, people may not know that by staking your wax, because the wax is a proof of stake blockchain where you vote on who are the best block creators, and then they give you a reward. So if you take a portion of the wax that you have and you stake it, and then you vote, you'll be receiving every 24 hours a certain reward from those block creators. So that's another way to generate passive income, is to actually take some of your wax that if you've sold some NFTs and made some wax, you want to stake that on the wax blockchain, and then you'll be receiving rewards that are, you can use to buy more NFTs or, make a small income.
Really cool. Yeah. In other news, do you want to talk more about the current state of our game production?
Yeah. So we have a meeting we're having it seems like 3 meetings a week now. We were having just 2 meetings, but today we have a meeting with our game developer to, every Monday is kind of a check-in where we will be sort of testing out the game and talking about where we're at in terms of the interface with the game. So that's coming here in a couple hours after we finish this podcast.
Yeah, and we can't get into too much detail because we want to make sure we're protected too. But I will say that Josh Rose, our game designer and game developer, is coming out with an incredible economic model for the way the whole game works in terms of play to earn, and he's creating like these tiers where when card sales go to a certain point, it's gonna a certain amount of mints have been sold. It will unlock these really special cards that are more valuable in the game. So there's just a lot of interesting things that he's playing with to generate sales, but also generate better content for playability in the game. And yeah, we're creating these satchels too, where we've talked about this before, but like it's really developing and it's really exciting how you're going to be able to collect our NFTs either on the primary, secondary market, and you put them into the game, and then these like card frame satchels appear as a replacement of your NFT from the market, and these things are going to be really interactive, built in 3D, fully customizable with like different attachments that can do poisons or shields. He's even working out this like gem tier program from like bronze to diamond, and depending on how far you go with winning or how much crypto you put into the card, you can upgrade to certain attributes that are more powerful. So, and all this is just creating generative art too in a way, because we're toying with the idea that as you upgrade potentially the previous version, like if you go from bronze to gold, you would have a copy of that bronze card frame NFT that you could then potentially sell in the secondary market. Someone else could gobble that up and use that. So you could actually potentially make money with your upgrades as you get these copies along the way. But yeah, it's all brand new, and we originally started this project with Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering in mind, but we're kind of creating this whole new card game that's like very different and original. So it's really fun.
It's good times. I just can't wait to share it with everybody. And if you guys want to see a kind of rough teaser, you can go to drzamsy.com, and it's just playing there on the the top of the webpage. You can see a fun little teaser. So
Yeah.
then we also had a really good meeting with Michael Blu this last week from Yoshi
Yeah.
Drops and his team, and we can't wait to share that. It's basically what could be better than beautiful Dr. Zammsy art with music? So
Well, yeah,
that was
it was a meeting that was with his whole team, and I was in that. Uh, I think you were still asleep or something. It was a really early meeting, but
oh no, but I was in another meeting before. We had a couple
true.
meetings last week, right?
Yeah. And but this one was very specific with what we were actually going to achieve. I had this whole other world based on this platformer game concept that I was developing many years ago, and it's really original. It's not Dr. Zammsy at all. It's very sci-fi meets like underground vinyl toy, kind of look to think. It's hard to explain, but we'll show examples soon enough. But yeah, there's like an enormous amount of potential because these environments that I created have many layers, and there's also like a whole library of subset assets that can be swapped out for certain things in the environment. Not to mention that we can change the colors of those objects for generative art. We're working on a collaboration pack or a collaboration drop of these generative pieces on Ethereum in December. And we're going to try and do static images first that are generative, but then as the project evolves and hopefully with success, we're going to graduate to really substantial animated environments as well. So, and the music is going to be EDM, electronic dance music, that's going to be originally created for these pieces. And the goal is to eventually develop this thing into where you see the album cover, you see the artwork inside, moving, and then certain elements are pulsing with the beat of the music, and then they're going to do. So, I forget what mint runs they were planning, but it's very selective, very rare. So yeah, we're just really excited because Michael Blu and Yoshi Drops, they created Legend.art, and that's an auction house for original artwork on the Ethereum side. So I think that they're going to leverage a lot of different components that they own as a company to help drive this collaboration. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, speaking of EDM music, I saw a bunch of people on Instagram were posting from the Electronic Daisy Carnival. Orlando was this weekend in Florida, where they had something like 95,000 people a day at something similar to the Daydreams Festival. Like I saw pictures
Yeah.
of the stage, and it looked just like just massive stage with these amazing art
Yeah.
formations, which I could just imagine that's what you did with the Daydream Festival.
Yeah, it was a nice 5 year run, and then COVID hit. I was designing their posters and their stages and all the textures for their stage for every year for 5 years, and then everything stopped for COVID. And right around now, I usually get the email like, "Hey, let's get started," because we go through December into January to finish the poster, and then it's like a hard effort from like February all the way to April, May, June to finish everything, and then they build it in July. So it's a better part of a year developing those events, but it wasn't full time; it was on and off. But it's all, I just understand how much work goes into that, and I don't know if I can if they gave me that opportunity again this year, just with the substantial amount of effort our project is taking. I don't think I could take that on. I'd have to decline. But I'm just very fortunate I was
Oh
able to
no,
do
we'd
it in
have
the
to
first
get you an
place.
assistant or something. We gotta, because I've been having a dream. My dream has been as soon as COVID's over that we all go to Amsterdam and go to this Daydream Festival. So
Yeah.
we got to figure out some
Although
way to get VIP access to that.
2019 was the year my wife and I went, and yeah, dude, it was insane. Like we dropped into Amsterdam, stayed a night there, then took a train all the way down to Eindhoven, which is a little technology city in the middle of like farm fields. And then we took a bus to Aquabest where the actual event was, and it was a man-made lake, like recreational area, and they built the whole entire festival around the lake. And yeah, I mean, it would be amazing to go with you and some of the guys. We'll have to get Gordon to, fly over from Scotland and meet us there.
I'm down, definitely.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the potential for the metaverse with electronic festivals is something that I don't know anyone's even thinking of right now. But I could just see, if we could really take off our business, partnering with the Daydream Festival, and also creating NFTs out of the art generated for that, but then maybe even working out a virtual experience where it's like the stage, but then it's actually an entire world that looks like the stage that's built around you in some VR experience. And maybe the music that's being, DJ'd is like piped in live somehow. And there's this interconnection between, experiencing the event like in real time, but through a whole other lens. I mean, metaverse EDM concerts. That's if we don't do it, someone else will. So
Nice. Well, I just wanted to share that if anyone who has Disney Plus, there was a pretty cool thing dropped on Friday, which was the whole origin of Boba Fett. Like, where did Boba Fett come from? What was the idea behind Boba Fett? How is it 40 years later, Boba Fett is still one of the most popular characters of all time? And it was pretty cool. Like, it originally, Boba Fett was supposed to be this sort of elite group of stormtroopers, and his outfit was actually white, just like a stormtrooper outfit. And I guess for budgetary reasons, they realized that they couldn't create more than a few of those costumes to be part of the stormtroopers. So George Lucas just said, "Hey, let's make him a bounty hunter. He can be this other character." And just listening to all the creators saying that they just had no idea that this character that only literally had 6 minutes of screen time across all the movies, the first 3 movies, how he became this, phenomenon, which you can see I'm a fan.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But so coming out December 29th, I believe, is the Boba Fett TV series. So pretty excited about that.
Nice. Awesome. I wanted to kind of reel back to our project really quick. Just give an update on Matt Lyon, our writer for the animated series feature pitch stuff. We had a fantastic meeting with him last week as well, and we're totally on track for developing the full-fledged story into a series. This guy is a veteran of writing for entertainment, and he's got a lot of connections, and all the stuff we gave him in terms of story structure, he was like, "There's just you're just giving me gold here. This is amazing." And basically, we're using him to restructure everything that we have and all the ideas that we have, and put that in a formulaic way that's easier to understand for a 10-episode series or a potential live action series, or even like a feature. And so there's a few plot points that we need to iron out still. Things that kind of don't quite make sense, but overall, those are really easy to fix. And it was just a lot of fun being creative with a writer and not have to write ourselves, right, Rolf? Because we've been writing so much on this project.
Yeah, basically what we realized is, well, since January, Matt and I have created just an enormous amount of lore for Dr. Zammsy, from the Aged Younglings, the Orgotons, Vizdidra, Catrice Middleton, Morris Minor. We've created all of this sort of backstory. Yeah, for all of the characters, we've written a lot of stuff, and so now it's all about focusing to this. We've had an idea of what the story would be from beginning, middle, and end, but we actually have another couple people working on an entire glossary of terms. So if you guys look at the back of the cards, you'll see the name of somebody or the location or a gadget. And so we're getting that all compiled, and then working with the writer to just take all of that information and get it into this kind of focused story that everybody can comprehend and enjoy. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, like, there's so many different parts to the world that we've described in the backs of the cards. That's, I think, even you and me forget sometimes where they are or how they link. So the glossary is going to be nice to reference, while we're developing stuff further down the line, but also for a map. We've been talking with our web guys, and we're actually going to build out a real map, like a Lord of the Rings style map. It'll look very different than Lord of the Rings, though. I have some ideas, make it kind of cool. But ideally, the map will be a place where you can click on a particular location and you'll be able to zoom in. It'll be interactive. So we're going to put some funds into this where you'll go on the website, you'll click on map, and you'll be able to get descriptions and concept art that will show what that location's like, what goes on there. From Lunderhelm, this little village where the Metacron race takes place, all the way to New Logan, the fantastical metropolis of Galligan, to Halo Bridge Hospital, to Lotusville, where Catrice Middleton lives on the farm. There's like all these different locations that we're going to describe and make it easier for you to understand visually.
I want a Game of Thrones map. Like at the beginning, at the beginning of Game of Thrones, where they fly through, and there's like you get to see a little something structures being built up.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
All right, Gordon, get on that. We'll write that down. Gordon Neal, let's do this.
Gordon Neal, okay, Game of Thrones style, Galligan.
Yeah, just handle it by next week, right? No problem.
Jack of trades. Yeah, I'll get it done the next hour.
All right, sweet. Yes. And our team's expanding too. We just sent out a contract to Adrian Hebel, I believe his last name's Hebel, and he's going to be our technical artist coming online. And basically, his job is going to be creating a pipeline of flow of all the 3D assets that Rusty and Gordon have been producing, and bringing that over into Unity. Speaking of Unity, Unity bought Weta Workshops technology for something like $1.2 billion. And out of the box is going to be all their technology and assets and artificial intelligence that they created for the Lord of the Rings movies, Tintin, all that's going to be available for Unity. And so I can see, we were originally kind of, trying to decide whether we're going to use Unreal or Unity, but we chose we chose Unity. So now it's really amazing that, coming through next year, how we're going to be able to utilize some of their technology, and Adrian's going to be pivotal in making that work.
Yep.
So,
really so cool. Everybody, it's just amazing how our buddy Michael, our marketing guy, has really helped us with our Discord. It's just kind of grown so much recently, and it's a really good place for everyone to chat and see all the new stuff with Dr. Zammsy, and even reintroduce stuff that people may not have known, because our fan base has been expanding. And so I made a couple posts, but I didn't actually put it in the announcements to everyone, just because I wanted to give some of the fans who care just a little tidbit to try to figure it out themselves. But we have this very rare series called the Black Series, and it came out in our second series of cards, but they're only found in the Dr. Zammsy box 2, and you only have a 0.5% chance of pulling one of those. But those are the rarest cards from that set, the series 2 set. And so I gave some instructions in the chat and in a couple other places, but I didn't announce it to everyone. So if you're able to find that on our Discord, I'll maybe leave it for a few more days before I announce it to everybody. But there's actually 2 Black Series cards, the New Logan Black Series and the Aged Youngin Black Series, which are impossible to get. You're going to have to convince the owner somehow if you want that one, because there's only one of those. And so they're really cool cards, but impossible. Nobody can get those. But then there's a Catrice Middleton Black Series card, which was part of a blend. And we made it so there were only 20 could be possibly made. And those went really quick. So those were blended out. And I noticed that there were a couple on the secondary market. So if you can find one of those, that's literally like my favorite card that we've made so far, because it's got the story of Catrice. It's got these extra stuff on there, this really cool concept of her with a sword, and just can't wait to share with you more about how she fits into the story of Dr. Zammsy. So that one is hard to get, but is possible to get on the secondary market. But then kind of what the whole point of this conversation was with the Dr. Zammsy box 2s are still available. And there's 3 Black Series cards in there. There's the Professor Magnus Zeal Black Series card, the Visdidra, and the Farmer Randall Middleton Black Series. And so the Black Series is just, again, beautiful painting from Matt Gaser in a monochrome style, black and white. And then there's more than one back. So there's 2 backs with extra story and colorful images on those backs. So you're really going to get a piece of the story that's not found anywhere else. So like I said, I'm going to leave it for a few more days. If you can find it in the threads, I put it in the trade thread in the general chat. Then I'm going to kind of open it up and put it in the announcements and send it out to everyone. So that'll give everybody a chance to go looking for these very rare Black Series cards.
We're also planning to do a Black Series of all our Black cards and produce a pack here in the next month. That's
Sorry, which cards?
The battle cards.
Battle
We
cards.
were talking about doing a Black Series of those cards. That were more unique and super rare, as well as some images that we haven't released yet in those packs. The goal is to create the Black Series as a really unique card set that can be utilized in the game and give you hyper advantages. So we'll see, what we come up with, but that's kind of a rough model of what's to come in terms of our next set.
Yeah. So anyways, between now and the end of the year, crypto's looking pretty good. Bitcoin just had an upgrade over the weekend to basically make it more usable in smart contracts. So I think you're going to see Bitcoin is going to start having some of the things Ethereum does more often with this upgrade that just happened over the Taproot upgrade that happened over the weekend.
Nice.
So
really cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good time to be in crypto.
And so if anybody wonders like where we learned about this stuff, I mean, I try not to invent the wheel. Like I like to learn from what other people have done. And so the Pomp podcast is where I learned a lot of stuff. And over the weekend, I listened to his latest podcast was about how cities now are creating their own coin. And Miami and New York were the first to do it. And they're generating quite a bit of money for themselves and their citizens by having crypto, and even the mayor of the city is taking some of his income with Bitcoin. And so I think that's just, it's just amazing to me how crypto is just becoming more and more just mainstream and normal, and how cities are actually being able to fund themselves by creating their own coin and generating yield and getting Bitcoin for yourself by these city government programs. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what kind of backlash comes from the old legacy people, but for right now, it seems like that's the wave of the future. So if you want to learn more, though, listen to the latest podcast. They go into detail about how the mayor of Miami has just made Miami like the hub for crypto. It's just, yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait for this future that's coming.
It's interesting because, politics is so complicated, and both sides, at least in America, are at such odds with each other. And the way we distribute our money for various needs, the interest level on either side is so swayed back and forth. It'd be interesting that, if based on what you're saying, if it graduates to this level where each state has its own economy and they make decisions for their state based on their crypto wealth, rather than the feds, somehow organizing, where funds go, and organizing the economy for our country. It's broken up into these like state-run factions that have their own economic coin. I mean, who knows where that will go? It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's the wave of the future is crypto and virtual assets, and just make sure everybody, if people are still not understanding the when staking thing, because right now you can make crypto off of our Dr. Zammsy NFTs right now, and I think we kind of explained it a little bit earlier, but this whole new economy is happening right now, and getting in early is where you get the biggest gains. So right now we have this 80% reward if you stake an NFT, which will only last, I think, for the first month or so. Then it's going to drop down to something like 60%. And then as things become more and more, it's going to be a lesser percent, but you'll still be able to earn rewards.
And we're selling out of our product too. Like, didn't you say like our ultimate pack from set 2 is getting pretty close to being bought out?
Oh yeah, that's completely sold out. So the virus packs, the virus packs and the Matt Gaser collector's box and the ultimate animation box, those are totally sold out. There's just a few left of the rare animation, and then there's, like I said, we hadn't really, when we launched our second series, it was during the sort of valley when Bitcoin and all the crypto was down in back in June, and so, and our fan base was much smaller then too. So we never really got the word out about this Black series. So the one that's still available is the Dr. Zammsy box 2 for who knows until they're gone. But that's where you can find these Black. They're only found in that one type of pack, the Dr. Zammsy box 2. You can't find them in any other of those boxes. So, but we're getting close to having those be gone, and then everyone needs to go check out and blend up, because we talked about it earlier in the show, just about this whole new blending system with the HODLGOD collaboration we just launched on Tuesday. So get all your sets ready, get as many sets as you can, because we're going to have this mini pack with, there's going to be like a sketch card. There's going to be a 3D model of the sword, a Polygon. There's going to be, some other stuff you guys are really going to want. So get a few sets so you can burn one and keep one. And that'll be awesome.
Great suggestions, buddy. All right, I think we should wrap this up. It's been a great week. We can't wait for what's to come in this week. We'll give you guys news on this new pack drop from HODLGOD and Dr. Zammsy. It's in the making right now. You can, as we said, you can blend. Our previous pack we launched last week. New pack potentially launching this week, and documentary teaser short potentially coming online this week as well. So a lot happening.
No. We should, hopefully this week we'll have a teaser for the documentary. John Helms is working as hard as he can to get something out. So as soon as we get that, we'll post it for everybody.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Thank you. Take care.
Aloha.